What's up, guys? We are past the pop culture. My name is Ricky with my co-host here, Mr. Fen.
Yo.
And today we got a lot to talk about, so we're going to kind of run through it a little bit quicker, but we got plenty of things to talk about still. So we got that Wizards of the Coast shenanigans that they're pretty much trying to pull with Dungeons and Dragons.
hmm
We got some opinions on that. There's some Xbox promotions that are kind of cool for Oreos, right? Vampire Survivors, just kind of like some insight onto how and why they did their mobile version, and much respect to the game developer actually after reading that one.
hmm
Ubisoft might potentially be making a Star Wars game, but hey, that's only a rumor, so we'll go over that, and then just some general news after that, and then we will discuss the Ant-Man 3 trailer. So there's a lot of stuff in that one too, but I'll save my opinions for that. The first thing I think, man, like there's just so much to go through. I kind of want to talk about the Wizards of the Coast thing because
yeah.
uh we had someone explain it to us like not too long ago, and we're like,
hmm
really, what, like, are you sure? And then they're like, yeah. And I was like, it sounded pretty far-fetched, where like I thought it was just like a not like a joke, but like oh, maybe it's like a misunderstanding, but it really isn't. So
It's a
if you guys aren't
surprise.
actually, yeah, if you guys aren't actually like aware of what's going on, so there's this open game license for Dungeons and Dragons.
hmm
It was created in the 2000s, and basically what happens is they're like, hey, this is Dungeons and Dragons, but if you guys want to like showcase it, change things around, do your own thing with it, as long, homebrew, whatever it is, you guys can, and we don't really care what you guys do with it, right? Like
Right.
it's just as long as you're not like making money off of Dungeons and Dragons itself, and you're putting your own stuff on there, they really didn't care. But Dungeons and Dragons, which is owned by Wizards of the Coast, right? Wizards of the Coast have been getting pretty greedy lately. I know some people are complaining about Magic, but they're turning Magic into like just something kind of weird, where they're just trying to like yoink as much of your money out of your wallets as possible. And a lot of people are just not enjoying a lot of the new cards and stuff. But that's a very top level view that I have of it. I'm not part of the Magic scene or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I tried getting into it, and I kind of like it, kind of don't.
I don't
But
get it.
Dun- but Dungeons and Dragons was something that like I've played before. I've played multiple
hmm
times. Not a huge fan, like my brother is, but it is still kind of sad what's happening. So basically, they're trying to change this license, right? So what they're going to try to do is say, hey, you need to get a license through us. You cannot stream it, which we even thought about potentially doing like a
Yep.
stream on Dungeons and Dragons before. Any media that you create related to Dungeons and Dragons, or using material from Dungeons and Dragons ideas, concepts, or whatever, even if you completely like remix it and everything,
hmm
you're just using the D&D as a basis. You have to still go through their licensing program. If you make more than $750,000, right? It
I
was, or
believe
what
so.
was
Yeah.
it?
It's
Yeah.
a high
So
number. Yeah. 750,000.
so it's still a big number, but it's just it's not profit. It's just if you've made that.
hmm
So there's other tabletop games that I didn't know about that now are going to suffer because they have to give like 15-20% or something like that. They have to give a good portion of profits to Wizards of the Coast. Now, a lot of people are like saying this is it, tabletop is done, or it's just gonna like fold in half the market because people who are making content now can't make it. So then you basically have all influencers, gamers, streamers,
Yeah.
people. I mean,
Critical Role.
this
Think
is,
like them.
yeah. There's people who have made like tabletop simulator, stuff like that. Like they're just gone. Like they have to start paying for that, and a lot of them won't be able to
hmm
pay for it, unfortunately. Uh, it's just really, like, a lot of people are saying it's really scummy. I do think so too.
Yeah.
It's it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't know what they're really thinking. A lot of people are saying they're gonna actually just lose money because people are just gonna walk away.
hmm
So I know there's a few hashtags going on and stuff
There's
that
a
they're like,
petition.
oh, what were they?
There's a petition to like kind
There's a
of revert the change, and there's like 4,000 signatures. But I don't know. Like,
yeah.
why would they even think about doing this? I guess they're greedy now, right?
Yeah, they're greedy and they really don't care. I think that whoever's just behind there is just like, oh, let's just like rinse these nerds of their money, right? They're just like, wanting to. It's like they're just like that bully, just turning them over, shaking all the lunch
Yeah, give
money
me your
out from them,
money.
and yeah, and that's the thing because it's like a lot of money, right, is being made on the third party stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Street content creators, right? I mean, there's thousands, right, tens of
Yeah.
thousands, hundreds of thousands of videos probably just floating online of DnD sessions, right? And homebrew things people are selling, like because I even thought like, oh well, it'd be cool to make like little 3D printed figurines and like to make
Mm-hmm.
schematics so people can like uh sell them and stuff like you know just let people use them. And because that's like what my brother wanted to do. And he's like, oh, well, now I
Now you
can't do
can't really
that.
do
If I
that.
make, yeah, he's like, now if I make a figurine that I think is cool, and then I'm like, hey, you know what? Just like drop like 10 cents or something. And then, as a donation, now he's going to have to report that to them. Right. And then, so I mean,
That's
it becomes like a really
crazy.
big hassle. And then it's just like, it just makes it like, even to the point where it's like, oh, I don't really want to do it anymore. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have the support, and then DnD dies, and that's what happens, right? It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of just a mess because they're saying, apparently, like even in this article itself, by Game Rant, they're saying that, well, technically that license you cannot revoke, and they just
Right.
revoked the license.
Right.
So now it's like, how can you just revoke it? And then so a lot of people are saying like, well, maybe if you're already doing it in the past, it should technically be covered under that old license, and that you can't just pull it out. And like, so a lot of people are saying that there may be some sort of legal dispute now
Mm-hmm.
because they can say, hey, you just went back on what you guys said. You gave us this license. Now, you know, you're gonna have to
No takebacks.
keep using that. Like, yeah, like no takebacks. And I know they're saying that, they potentially will, and this is what a lot of companies do. They're gonna start scaring streamers, right?
Yeah.
YouTubers, and then they're gonna start going, "Oh, we're gonna sue you. You can't sue me. We're gonna try to sue you anyways." So they're gonna financially ruin
Mm-hmm.
you because now you have
Yep.
to pay for a lawyer, right? It's just some dude who's really passionate, right? Like, there's very few that are actually probably like able to make like a living, and
Mm-hmm.
that's anything on YouTube, right? But just is a very niche but tight community. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're just gonna go after these guys that are just trying to like get more people into the game, and then they're gonna be like, boom, hey, dude, that ad revenue is ours now, and since you didn't go get the license, now you got tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees because we're gonna sue you. And even if they have no right to, they're just gonna go and scare people because then people are just automatically gonna back off. Like,
Yep.
it makes sense because it's like, oh, well, I don't want to get into a legal dispute, right? Because then it's like, well, I have lives outside of just going and fighting a case, right?
Exactly.
And so it's like they're just going to start doing like these scare tactics, and like very few are going to actually go out of their way to fight it. And those few that do go and fight it, they're just going to go and win, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, yeah," and then they're gonna turn around and do it again to the next guy.
Exactly.
Like,
Yep.
they're not gonna care. They're just gonna
Mm-hmm.
keep going after everybody to kind of just scare them into like submission. So it's gonna be it's disappointing to see that this is happening, but I mean, I don't know. I think we just have to come up with like something else. Then, if this is really gonna get enforced,
Yeah, but it's like,
uh,
how do you make something else that's not related to Dungeons and Dragons, but it's still Dungeons and
and
Dragons?
yeah, and that's the hard part. Is like because
Where does it
you can
end?
always argue like, oh well, they played Dungeons and Dragons before, and so they're just copying it again, which is
Exactly.
like they should give the money to us. So I don't know. You're just we're gonna have to find some way of to be like, all right, everyone's gonna play this new thing and not Dungeons and Dragons anymore,
Fight the system is
and
what I
not
say.
yeah,
Let's sue
yeah.
them.
There's gonna have to be something, and like because we have like the Vampire Survivor thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is very fascinating because over there, he's like, "Oh, well, I tried getting a developer for mobile, but they're all too greedy and they want to have like
Yeah.
these aggressive monetization
Mm-hmm.
policies. So he can't give it to any of them because they're too greedy." And so it's very interesting because we have kind of like two similar things going on, but in very different ways, where it's just like these companies are getting a bit greedy,
And this
and I
guy's
think
like,
it's gonna
nope.
hurt them in the long run. Yeah, it's like because Vampire Survivors gained its popularity because it was like, hey, this is a really good game.
Yep.
It's like $5
Mm-hmm.
here, and it's like, you want DLC? You know, a couple bucks
Yeah,
here.
here's three another three
It's like,
dollars.
yeah, and it's like here's like $100 worth of gameplay for
Yeah,
$5.
still less than
It's like,
$10.
it's like, so yeah, it's like you're not, and he's doing it for the love of games, and
Mm-hmm.
now he made enough money, right, to go and start his own studio. He's like, hey, let's put it on mobile because everyone's copying my game, and they're doing like these egregious tactics and very low quality, and you can't even get somebody else to make it. He had to make it himself, just because the developers who wanted to work with, they kept trying to work in all these microtransactions and
Yep.
this and that. And then after months of trying to find someone just to do it for him, he's like, fine, I guess I'll do it myself. And then, so
Yep.
yeah, like, there's bugs and stuff like that that people were complaining about. But
But
it's
he's doing
like,
it by himself.
but yeah, I mean, that, yeah, like,
And it's
and
free.
also, yeah, he's working on DLC plus the mobile. And then he's just kind of confused because he's like, well, I don't want to like add in like energy tokens and like
Yeah.
coins and like stop, like, I just want you to be able to play. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I make some, and it's free, so it's like, you know, I have like a skip ad button, and then you just, you watch the ad or you not, and you just skip it, and then you just go on and play the game,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Man of the
and
year.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's commitment, right? And I just think it's interesting because he is doing very well because he's not greedy,
Exactly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a certain point where people are just gonna get so pissed off they're just not gonna play your game or use your stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder where that tipping point is right now, especially with Dungeons and Dragons, because this seemed to really upset people, and people like even ourselves who are like adjacent to D&D, and then people who are not even into D&D, they're talking about it, you
Well,
know?
see, it's like
So,
if this goes through and then like they start going after content creators for Dungeons and Dragons, like where does it end? Like EA is like, wait, that you could do that, and then like where does it stop?
yeah,
You're using
and,
my
and that,
content and making money, so now I need the money. So it's like maybe it could transfer to all the other companies, and that's gonna
yeah.
be a big SOL for for pretty much everybody.
Yeah, so and that kind of goes into the other thing that you brought up, where it was like with the Fallout Tactics conversion mod gets funded by Canadian government, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
mod, right? And of course, Bethesda allows people to mod the heck out of their games and stuff. But it's getting funded to kind of do their own thing,
Yeah.
right? And so the thing is, it's like if we start seeing precedent where it starts to be like, hey, you make content related to the game,
Mm-hmm.
that's money for us, right? Like Nintendo, right, for the longest time wouldn't let people stream their games
Exactly.
because they're like, hey, we're losing money because people are watching the games instead of buying it. If anything, it got people to buy the game, right? Because they see like, oh, look at this new game, I want to play it like my favorite streamer is and follow
Yep.
along, I'm gonna go and buy it, right? Like, very like, I don't know. It's like, unless I'm playing a game, I very rarely would just like watch it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. That's
Like
most
like
people.
like
Not
yeah,
most
it's
people,
like
but
if I see, like, sometimes I'll be like scrolling along, I'm like, oh, what game's this? And then I want to go and play it.
mm-hmm.
I don't ever be like, ah, yes, I got my fulfillment of the game by just watching someone play it, and I'm never gonna touch the game myself. It's like part of me is like, well, I want to try it now. This guy looks like he's having fun.
Yeah,
And
or he
then so it's
sucks. I
like,
could do better, right?
yeah, or whatever, right? So it's like, these people are kind of important to the gaming community, and to start pissing them off, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, but it's pretty cool that they are doing their own little mod,
Mm-hmm.
and
I didn't even know you can get funded by the government for
for Canada,
yeah for a mod. I didn't even know that was a
yeah,
thing.
they have
Or it's like
they
it's not
have like
it's what
a
is it? The
whole,
division of like art or something.
yeah, it's just like to promote art within Canada
Yeah,
and
Council of
stuff.
Arts and Letters, and then Canada Council for the Arts,
Uh-huh.
hmm. which sound the same, but all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
But like, can
talk
you
about everyone's
imagine?
favorite game.
Wait, can you imagine though, like Biden or like an American government like funding, I don't know, Call of Duty or something?
I don't think they need funding, but they just come down on like that. Like you just have like, hey, I like Vampire Survivors. Here's a little more money.
Yeah, put Biden
Like
in the
something
game.
like that would. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff that's happening, but
Yeah,
I guess something a little bit on the brighter side, right? Like we have that Xbox Oreo promo, right?
which I'm absolutely all for.
So there is some interesting skins for Sea of Thieves. We have Halo, and then what's that last one? Forza.
Sea of Thieves, Forza, and then Halo. Yeah.
Yeah. So those games are getting exclusive skins if you go and buy the Oreos, and you kind of have to get them quick. They're so it's going all the way through like January and then a little bit into February. But they've made like a set amount and then that's
Mm-hmm.
it. So it's like however long that lasts is, they're just throwing it up there and you can go and get it. I'm kind of down to get them
I'm
just
literally
because
gonna go
I
and get them
like
this
the
weekend.
cookies. Yeah, buy me a pack.
I will.
Cause like it's pretty cool. I don't even care about the skins. I just care about the cookies. Like, look at that, man. I actually like and
They are
I'd highly
cool.
recommend just to go look them up. It's like you got the Xbox logo, you have like the buttons on
The
there,
buttons and then
and
up
then
for whatever reason.
yeah, and then if you do like a little like they're gonna have a little code, and then if you do like a little like cheat code kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you're gonna be able to like unlock stuff, and like I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, right? It's like it's a
I
little
mean,
break from
the skins
Microsoft
look
trying to
cool.
like
I
the
mean,
skins do look cool. What I was gonna say is it's just a little break from Xbox trying to like hack our brains and
yeah,
stuff
try to
with the
control us.
weird
Wait, this
like
is how it starts, Ricky. They're
yeah.
giving us
Oh, that's true.
Oreos. There's little
We have to eat
chips
the
in the
Oreos.
Oreos, and then they're gonna.
Yes, it's
Oh
the nanobots in the
no!
Oreo, so they can control us. Oh my goodness, you're
Not this
exactly
time. We
right.
caught you, Microsoft. We got you.
Yes.
Wow. That can't happen, right? Let's just clarify that. Like,
Yeah, no, we don't seriously think that just in case someone actually you'd
yeah.
have someone go down.
It's a
Microsoft's
conspiracy
putting nanobots in the
for an
Oreos.
Oreo. Oh yeah, let's anyways. Skins look
Yeah.
cool. Don't eat them if you don't want to. Just use the code. There you go.
Yeah. And then we got a little rumor, like we mentioned earlier, with Ubisoft working on a Star Wars game.
Yeah, buddy.
So it's apparently gonna be like No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
buddy.
mean, I don't know. It's Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft with Ubisoft. So I don't really know, uh, like how
Okay.
bad the monetization is gonna be. But man,
True.
for Star Wars, you bet they're gonna monetize that.
They better not.
You bet.
I will be so mad.
You bet they're gonna monetize that.
They can't. Fool me once. Shame on me. Wait, no. Was it? They can't
Wait, I don't
monetize. I
know.
mean, it's No Man's Sky. Like, if it's No Man's Sky, I'm trying to think if that had monetization. Did it?
Well, that game was like trash when it came out,
That's
and
true.
I mean now it's better. So I don't know.
But in a world where there's no monetization, which doesn't exist, of course, but imagine the scope of this game for. Oh, you're not really a Star Wars fan, so. For the fans who like Star Wars, imagine No Man's Sky, but you're like, I don't know, an outcast or a Jedi or whatever, and you can just like go to Hoth and then leave it again, and like you're in a ship. Oh my gosh. And just like the lore and the characters you meet, this is. Oh. When I heard this, I was like, it better happen. Otherwise, I'm gonna be very sad. Game of the year, whenever it comes out, 2030 probably. But it's Ubisoft, so
Let's not get our hopes too high here, friend.
yeah. Well, that sucks though. It's like, oh yes, oh Ubisoft, oh. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I'll just stick with my single player Jedi Survivor game, I guess. But I'm excited. But
We'll see how it goes.
I'll hold my
But
breath.
it's still in the rumor phase, so it's probably not even real. So we have to talk about Ant-Man 3, but first we're gonna mention Black Panther coming in February to Disney Plus.
Haven't seen it.
So you haven't seen it yet. I wouldn't say you have to go watch it, but I mean it's not really. I don't know. I mean, not to be like spoilery about it. It's like it's important, but not important. just because it introduces someone new, and then it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, and then we can move on. That's really it.
Yeah, well, this
So
article did spoil it for me, but it's okay.
yeah, but it is coming in February for those of you guys that are interested and
February
haven't seen it
1st.
yet. Yes, and then of course you can always go back to our episode on Wakanda Forever. Did I mention? Oh,
I
I
don't think
mentioned
so.
it briefly. I don't think
Yeah,
we did a whole episode on it.
yeah,
I mentioned it briefly somewhere, and I talked about it a little bit.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe we'll do that
or
again.
I remember talking about it a lot, but I'm pretty sure it was on there. So, anyways, I'm pretty sure if you scroll around, you'll find something on there with me
Just
commenting
watch
on
them
it.
all until you find it.
Yeah, there you go. But anyways, Ant-Man 3 trailer. Okay, King. I actually really like how they made the suit.
Yep. Okay.
I
That's
did like
positive.
it.
Did you
Uh,
see a cameo?
okay, so yeah, there's MODOK, and
Okay.
I don't know how I 100% feel about it.
Looks weird in
I
real
wanted,
life.
I just really wanted that, like, that chonk man-child looking face. They made him a little more.
Realistic,
I
I
don't even know how to
guess.
describe it, but I don't know. I kind of, the thing is, I rather have had MODOK not been shown at all. I don't know why they keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they keep, like, the thing with the trailer. Like, I enjoyed it, but it was like, gosh, you're just giving so much away.
Yep.
Right? Because like the first two trailers are like, oh, is Ant-Man gonna do the wrong thing?
Which
Is
was
he going
perfect,
to go
right?
with Kang? And then it was like, you can totally tell from the context of the trailer, he's like, oh, you know what? No, I shouldn't be doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the first two were kind of hinting more towards, hey, maybe he's gonna
Maybe.
work with him.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like you can definitely tell, like, okay, well, he's not gonna do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I didn't like this trailer because it's like, well, you're giving the whole movie away.
Exactly. There it
And then
is.
that's my problem with the trailer. And it's like, gosh darn it, this is why I don't watch the trailers. Because I would have been a lot more hyped going in, not seeing this. Right?
It's the Marvel
The
curse.
yeah. Kang though, the guy who plays Kang is absolutely shredded, and he's
Yeah,
like
so he's buff in this
body
movie
gold.
because he was bulking up for Creed 3, and my goodness.
Yeah. Dude,
That's a
he's
super
bigger than
villain.
dude, he looked bigger than what's his name?
Chris Evans?
The guy in Creed. No, the guy in
Oh,
Creed.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
He's
Jordan,
way
dude.
bigger than him.
He's like way bigger. Like when they're taking, like when they had them the side by side
That's
for like
right.
I think it was like a poster or something. I'm like, dude's
Yep.
shoulder is like twice the size of
I'm so
Michael
excited
B.
for that movie.
Jordan's. Like it's like man's crazy,
That's
dude.
right.
Like
Goals.
I know, for real. I was like, bro, you're already a thumbs up in my book because like
That's right.
he looks like, especially with the costume and everything, he just looks like
Kang,
goosh.
super
Yeah,
villain. Like I'm scared of
he's
this guy.
yeah, he's just gonna
Yeah,
slap you.
that's the only reason I'm excited for this. Is like, man, Kang. Like I know he's gonna be good. He's probably gonna be like the Christian Bale of this Ant-Man movie. I'm already gonna call it.
Don't say that.
I'm already
Because
gonna call it.
I did when he was in Loki, I did like his part,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just like we got so little of it, because it was like what was it, 20 minutes or whatever,
Yeah, but
and
like when
then
he was talking, it was like, okay, I could
yeah, that's
see
pretty
it.
cool.
But is this the same movie?
And yeah, so well, we'll see, but I don't know. It's just like I don't know. This movie is like I don't know how to word it. It's like I have like I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be a mess though. I have a feeling like
Okay.
this movie is gonna be kind of messy. Like it's gonna come out the other side, and you're gonna be like there, and you're like, what happened? Like you're like things are gonna progress, but I think like because none of the other movies have really like moved the plot forward to really tie things together. This movie's really gonna have to just
Well, this one's supposed to do that.
yeah, it's supposed to just so it's really just gonna have to like ram everything through, right? Because like Wakanda Forever kind of like it just introduced some new characters. Really, it's not central to the main story. Shang-Chi again, I enjoyed it, but introduces new characters. But there's the Eternals, right? Looks like it was gonna go somewhere, and then it's like, hey, yeah, those that thing in the middle of the earth, we're just totally gonna in the middle of the ocean. Sorry, it's like we're just gonna forget about that one. So I think like a lot is just hinging on Ant-Man 3 being successful as a movie and as like
gonna be his
a
downfall,
plot
though.
device to move things forward, and so that's gonna be tough. And so I'm very interested to see how they're going to try to tie everything in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. I guess that's the better way to pull it.
Yeah.
So if anybody's watching this before it comes out, let me know what you think. Is Ant-Man and the Wasp going to pull it off to push the MCU forward? Or is it just going to be like all the other movies where we're just kind of sitting there like, oh, okay.
Like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
It is, because this is the final movie, right? This is it for this
No, this is
phase,
the
right?
beginning of Phase 5.
Oh, this is the beginning
This is
of
the
Phase 5.
beginning, yes. So it's supposed to be like you said, tying in everything with the multiverse and all that, and whatever questions or we have, whatever, it's supposed to be. This is where everything starts. So this is like the King officially starting, I guess.
So I forget what they're calling it, like the Kang Saga, the
Secret Wars, or no, not Secret Wars, whatever.
No.
What are they calling it?
All
the
right.
Kang Dynasty or something? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever, but
so yeah, I don't know why I can't think of it off the top of my head.
This is a must watch.
So this is the must watch of the MCU so far. I don't know. I mean, especially with everything getting pushed back, I'm really like skeptical. I'm kind of sitting here like, you know what? We could potentially start getting a little too messy here, right? Like a little, and it's like like the guy playing Kang. I don't know what his name is, but it's like I have a feeling like he's gonna be the good, like really like standout part of the movie, like you were saying, and then like everyone else is just gonna be like, yeah, let's give these kids powers, you know, it'll be funny.
I don't know,
power of friendship, right? And then it's like, I feel like hopefully it doesn't devolve into that, like, because
what do you mean?
I'm hoping that we get like a somewhat mature storyline here, right? Like at least somewhat where there's some consequences here.
Nope.
Right? Because I like Paul Rudd, right? Good actor, but again, like a lot of people weren't too big on the Ant-Man movies, and so especially the second one, I know a lot of people had problems with. Oof. So to like hinge everything on Ant-Man is a little ballsy in my books. So we're gonna see if it pays off.
I hope it does, man. The trailer, it looks cool, but it's Marvel, and I've been disappointed with every single Marvel thing since what is it? Spider-Man, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like,
I was trying to think. It's like, wait,
you've been disappointed since like Infinity War.
I was trying to think of something after Spider-Man. My bad. I was like,
I mean, well, it's like the individual stories are not bad usually, right? Like Shang-Chi was good.
Yeah.
And then there's I don't know, man. I can't think of
exactly.
the other one right now. It's like other ones that I thoroughly enjoyed, but I mean, well, you can't. I mean, there's Morbius, but you can't count that, you know.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Probably gonna be better. But never mind. Anyways,
but so I don't know. I just think it's a really risky thing to have Ant-Man do this, and it's just like got me scared. But like I said, we'll see. That's pretty much it, though. I think we've kind of gone through everything. I don't know if there's any last minute questions or comments you want to make.
It's gonna be a good year. That's all I'm gonna say. Well,
it's me interesting.
I hope it's a good year. And the first test is the first test is Last of Us this weekend, right? So
yeah, actually, yeah. So we'll be talking, and then so
actually
next week.
That's a real quick. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. The Last of Us.
So a lot of people like it.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that for an hour next week for sure. Unless it's good.
If it's good, man. Oh man, I'm gonna be wanting to play through it again, the first one.
Actually, I'm just remembering things. There's gonna be an announcement for your multiplayer game this year too. So they're gonna be talking about that, and people are starting to speculate that it might come out this year. Maybe.
I hope so, dude. I mean, like that was like a huge part of my childhood. Like I always say, Last of Us and the Last of Us multiplayer, man.
That's why I just remembered it.
I spent so many hours, dude.
Let's get Ricky's hopes up.
I always wish there was a competitive thing for that, and it just never happened, right? Because it was so like niche. And it was just like, oh man, it was so niche where it was like, like Nick 30,
Yeah.
right? Like before he did Fortnite, I
I
actually
remember telling
watched
you.
him, and he had like a couple hundred, couple thousand
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
subs, and he was like, there was another guy like Sancho West, and he was like the big dude
Mm-hmm.
in the whole scene, like 10,000 subs plus, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it was at that time, and like it was just like those two being like mainly the big creators for like Last of Us content, and like they had like Friday fan loadout where like people were like sending loadouts and they'd play the game, and like it was pretty cool. I'm hoping that if the multiplayer does well, there can be like a little scene that evolves for it, and like I would like, if it's good, I would like to make content for it, because like, oh
If it's
man,
good, I'm
like
down.
like if I don't know how to word it, like if it can scratch the itch of what the first one did for me, right?
Ooh, I
Then
don't
that's
know,
all I
man.
really need.
I don't
Because
know.
now like now, yeah, they're a little bit better at making multiplayer, and then uh I have a feeling there's gonna be some like battle royale influences, because the the first one was almost like a battle royale light, because you had to like collect
Mm-hmm.
supplies throughout the map and like craft things, right? Like you started off with your guns, but it was like a good mix. It was a cool mix, right? Before battle royale was even a thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see though, man. Now I'm gonna be like, okay,
There you go. See, I just want to get
yeah,
your hopes
like
up for this year.
yeah.
Only for it to be crushed
That
in
one, I was just,
reality.
I don't know. I actually, I was gonna make a joke, but I don't want to.
Oh yeah,
Never
maybe
mind.
not. I don't
So
know.
I was gonna be like,
If you had to think
I'm just
about it,
saying,
don't say
if
it.
it's, I would say if the game's bad, I'd be very disappointed. So,
Yeah,
um,
we'll see.
anyways,
We'll
so
see this year.
yeah, we'll see.
There you
If you
go. You're
guys enjoyed
welcome.
today, oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off right there.
No, I said there you go. You're welcome.
Oh, so if you enjoyed today's episode, we very much appreciate if you guys leave a like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, of course, if you're on whatever your preferred podcast listening platform is, 5-star, thumbs up, however it works on there, heart it. We very much appreciate any support. And if you really like what we're saying, talk to us on Twitch. We're live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're playing a lot of 7 Days to Die. Darker and Darker will probably be coming back later
Mm-hmm.
in February.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be playing that too when that comes out again, because it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, so if you want to come by, hang out, talk to us. Well, what do you think Ant-Man's going to be like? What's your opinions on the D&D shenanigans going on? Like, let us know. We like to talk about it. And yeah, if you want to know when we're live, we are on social media. We got Twitter, Instagram, pretty much all of
TikTok.
them. We're
Yep.
at Past the Pop Culture and everything. Oh, and for our Twitch, we're at twitch.tv/Past the Pop Culture. Forgot to mention that. So yeah, if you guys want to, I don't know, come by, hang out. Very
See
much
what's up.
appreciate it. Yeah. Just be like, hey, listen to this week's episode and it was good.
Yep.
You
And
know,
then we cry.
feed our ego. Yes. Thank you. See you.